What is up, guys? This is your host, Hussien Jabai, and welcome to the Jabai Performance Podcast. On this episode, we'll be discussing the formation of my journey through education and mentorship. So I wanted to take today to kind of discuss how my education journey through college, I started at a junior college, worked my way up to a university, and how that kind of developed in the path that brought me to where I'm at today. So I wanted to start kind of with high school and my thoughts with going into college. College isn't for everyone. Most individuals have to make a decision whether they want to pay for college, that next level degree, or they want to just jump into a program, jump into a job. If for me, actually, when I was when I graduated high school, I considered going into the Marines, and not many people know that about me and my twin brother. Is we were actually talking to a recruiter, I would say about senior year. We were talking to a recruiter for the Marines, and we would actually train with him, once every 2 weeks, whatever it might be. We would, run our miles, do our push-ups, pull-ups, all that good stuff. And so the Marines was kind of on the list. It wasn't one of those last resort things. We just knew fitness was our life. Fitness was the route we were wanting to go. And so, as we continued to train, I guess I would say our mother was at the back of our mind, actually in our ear, to be honest, too. Which was a good thing. She pushed us we actually went to PJC, Paris Junior College over in Paris, Texas, a junior college. And what was awesome was I had I had an academic scholarship. I had the presidential. So it actually, paid, my way, through school. And that was a huge component, because our thing was we never wanted our parents to have to pay for school for us, and they never did. That's one thing I can honestly say is we worked hard academically and physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever, through other jobs to pay for school ourselves. And so with that scholarship, it was paid for, along with we went through the FAFSA program or whatever. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. And so pretty much our associates was covered. It was a matter of making the grades, going to school, accomplishing that, which we went for our associates of science. And then that was from 2013 to 2015. Starting 2015, somewhere in 2015, I want to say mid-year. I think it was after the summer or something. We started over at A&M Commerce, over in Commerce, Texas, for our bachelor's of science in kinesiology. And the thing with that was we actually started, and I keep saying we because we basically had the same route throughout school. So if I say we a lot, it's because we basically took the same classes, more or less. I was a semester or two ahead, but we kind of stayed in line as far as like when we took the same classes, if we had them available and stuff like that. So, and I'm just used to saying we. So I guess going into my bachelor's, I actually did bachelor's of science, with the focus of all level kinesiology. And that was to get my teaching certification, or whatever you want to call it, to be a strength and conditioning coach. My main goal was strength and conditioning coach, work with athletes, work within a school, a university. Actually, it was to be in a high school. I really didn't want to be in a university setting. Everyone wants to be a university, strength and conditioning coach. I wanted to work with high school kids because they have that drive and need and want to play college sports, or they need to get a scholarship for sports to even pay for college. So I initially wanted to work with high school kids. And so I would say about a year in, I made the decision I didn't want to teach. With another podcast episode, I'll talk about my actual professional career. But around that time, I was doing my own boot camps. I was doing a lot of personal training, and I just loved the business side of fitness. I loved the structure, the mentorships. I loved the entrepreneurship of the industry, and so I didn't want to be stuck inside one school, one salary, one structure, and just kind of coast an 8 to 5. That's not really what I wanted to do, and so I shifted gears more toward just the focus of kinesiology. So the actual focus was human performance. Same thing more or less as kinesiology. It just they slapped a different name on it without the teaching aspect to it, which I had already taken plenty of teaching courses. But that's beside the point. Anyways, getting back on topic, I switched over to human performance, and just, I guess I had another year left. I think when I switched, they told me I had exactly a year. And so went through that. And during that time, I want to say close to when I switched is when I was working at the recreation center there. And that's where I was actually mentored a ton. And I still talk to Jamie Thayer, the assistant director for fitness and wellness. Him and I collaborate a ton. We're actually probably going to do a couple of discussions on podcast episodes and whatnot, just about random things we talk about, about topics and concepts within the industry or whatever it might be. But anyways, as I worked there, I was a trainer for, 2 years. A year and a half in, maybe 2 years in, whatever, I actually became he opened a position for a personal training manager. It was considered a, what was it? Some kind of fitness manager, fitness something. But basically I oversaw the personal trainers, mentored them, and gave me that opportunity, to drive that entrepreneurship and entrepreneur mindset of mentoring and building up trainers. And that's kind of why I changed my route of my degree and moved it more toward just learning concepts and things I can apply and relay over to trainers that I mentor down the road. So fast forward a little bit of time, and what was it? At the end of 2017, I finished my Bachelor's of Science in Human Performance. And just recently I pulled the trigger on the decision to go for my Master's in Exercise Science. And that decision was, and only was for the sake of continued ed, for learning more, being able to apply more. It's more under my belt. It's more credibility in the industry, and just kind of assists with goals I have in the future of establishing, whether it be certifications, whether it be creating my own academy of building up trainers, building up instructors, and opening new departments. I just feel like it's the right move personally. And I know down the road, if I didn't do it, or if I don't do it, or if I stop along the way, whatever it might be, I feel like I'll regret it down the road. It's just one of those personal goals that, you have, that if you don't accomplish them 5-10 years down the road, you're always going to look back. And I don't want to have one of those moments in my career. And I know we'll all have some sort of moments like that, but that's definitely not one I want to stop and not be able to pick back up. And so I made the decision in August of 2018. I took a semester off just because of how the timeline of things fell. And so I took a semester off, and August of 2018, I should be starting my Master's of Science in Exercise Science, still at Texas A&M in Commerce. And with fingers crossed, I applied for the grad assistant program of research for within the exercise physiology department. And so what this will allow me to do is, one, it will assist with tuition and paying for my master's, which would help a ton, but also it'll give me the ability to work more with the professors and actually work more hands-on with research and with the equipment, and be able to provide a platform for me to actually hopefully conduct my own research on topics that'll assist with things and concepts along the lines of whether it be mobility, biomechanics, or whatever that I've been emphasizing throughout the business structure. And so I'm looking forward to that opportunity. Fingers crossed, I get that opportunity and that chance to conduct my own research, or at least work more within the exercise physiology realm. So that's kind of a sum up of where I'm at and kind of what I went through. I've had a ton of good mentors along the way. Like I said, Jamie Thayer. There was one professor, Dr. Oldham, who I would go to a ton. Just smart man. I always compare him to Sheldon Cooper. If any of you guys watch The Big Bang Theory, spitting image of intelligence, I swear. And just funny dude. I enjoyed going to his classes, even though they were difficult as crap. I really enjoyed those. Those were the classes that I looked forward to going to. So those two mentors. I've had a couple of others that I would brainstorm off of. But I would definitely advise, if you're trying to do this journey alone, I would definitely advise, stopping what you're doing and finding you a mentor, finding you someone to collaborate with, even if it's not someone you want to sit down and see every week and pay for an hour of their time, or someone that you want to tell all your ideas to. Just find someone you can bounce some new concepts off of and see their feedback, see what they think as a non-biased third party, or whatever you want to share with them. You don't have to give them your entire business structure. A lot of people hold back because they don't want to share any kind of information, but at the end of the day, you're not going to get any kind of feedback. The only thoughts, the only opinions you're going to have is your own, which, yes, okay, the only opinions you need is your own, but you're releasing content to an audience, and you need, how that audience responds is going to be what makes or breaks you. So you need to know, yes, give the information, the truth, the information and content you want to provide, but also realize how to word it and how to how to structure it based off of the audience you're trying to reach out to. And I think having a mentor, having someone to collaborate with is definitely going to help you down the road. So this podcast episode was basically just devoted to summing up where I am as far as education, and kind of briefly discussing mentorships. I don't want this to be, such a crazy length of a podcast. I think next episode I'll probably discuss business endeavors and kind of where how I got started with personal training, which I mentioned the recreation center, and then having my own boot camps, and then moving into offering personal training in commercial gyms in a larger city, moving out to a larger city with my business, and then from there starting to mentor other personal trainers and always moving forward. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. At the end of the day, I just hope you learned something. If you're going through the exact same situation, path, whatever it might be, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, whatever, feel free to reach out to me. Just continue to strive and always lead by example.